Oh yeah, now that is a banging tune. I hear that music and it just takes me back to like the best elevator rides of my life. Like it just, oh, I want to play it again. Should we play it again? No, okay, fine. I won't. Okay, but you'll hear. This is why you have to tune in early. You got to be here on time every week, every month for the Cigar Professor, so that you don't miss the intro elevator music, the best elevator ride of your life. I tell you what, this might be one of the best cigars of our lives. This is well, of course it's a Perdomo. We're doing a Perdomo pack because Damo is a Perdomo guy. And he's got all the merch because he's like the special love child. He's got all that going on. I'm stuck with the ashtray, but you know what? It's still pretty nice. I'm still pretty happy with the ashtray. All right, listen, guys. I want to see a vote in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Should I bring the others on, or do we just like you and me? Like, hey, do we really need anybody else? Like, this we could just be really just intimate, just an intimate show, just you and me. I think it might be better, to be honest. And you know, I would love more than I should, if I'm honest. This is like an irrationally deep desire of mine to break Omar's unbroken streak of being on the show. And can you imagine like how little hair he would have left? I mean, he doesn't have much to start with, but if he was trying to get in the show and we just ignored him the whole time and pretended he wasn't there, he would be completely, but his beard would be gone by the time he tuned in. It could be worth it, guys. I'm just saying. Listen, just let me know in the comments. Do we give it a go? Listen, I'll bring Damo on and we'll see what he thinks. Damo, what do you reckon? Does that sound like a plan?
Well, look, it's all about the ratings at the end of the day, isn't it? So whatever makes the numbers go up or go down, that's what we go by.
I think we are attention whores. That is the bottom line here. That's what we're all about. We do it for the clicks, for the likes. And having said that, actually, what we need to do, so we better not do it this month. Next month, we'll set up a secret camera on Omar recording so that we can see him. He just doesn't know that we can see him as he tears his beard out, because that's what will get the ratings.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I reckon.
Sounds very.
It sounds like Omar has paid some of his mates to come on the show, because there's actually someone in the comments barracking to bring him on. That is literally a first.
Mate, look, he does get fan mail. Believe it or not, he gets fan mail. So
when you say fan mail, you mean explosive devices? Because I can understand that. Fine, I'll bring him on. Taleb D, stop hassling me. I'll bring him on, I promise. Hey, how are you, Omar? Good to see you, man. Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
What's going on, boys?
Man, we were just talking about how incredibly proud of you we are, that you show up every show, man, without fail. And I admire that so much about you, and long may it continue. May this be an unbroken streak for as long as we all live.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I had to work on my flight. I'm flying out tomorrow morning. So, you know.
Yeah, he's almost going to be flying today, actually, and he cancelled his flight just to make it for tonight's show.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. The level of commitment is.
But get this. This is how committed he is. Do you know the purpose of that flight? That purpose of that flight was to get cheap cigars overseas at his mate's expense. He turned that down for 24 hours just to be on the show tonight.
That's it.
Listen, this isn't something I'm going to say often, but if you keep this up, Omar, I might actually start to like you. Okay, I'm just keep that between us, though. Don't tell anyone.
I'm trying, man.
All right. All right. So tell us about this cigar, Damo, because obviously you are the Perdomo guy, but this is actually not just any old ordinary Perdomo either.
No, this is the Habano Bourbon Barrel-Aged in the Maduro. So we've been working through this particular line of Perdomos for this pack. We've done the Connecticut, we've done the Sun-Grown. This is the Maduro. And basically, in a nutshell, they take the tobacco, they age it in used bourbon barrels to impart flavor in the aging process. And the Maduro is the longest of aged of all of the tobaccos in this line. I think it's about 6 years from memory. So,
and I know we do this every time we have one of these special Perdomo cigars. We do this, but it's worth doing it again. Just stop and have a good look at the presentation, the foot band, your main band, the embossing, the texture that they've used, the design. I mean, these guys know how to make a cigar look good. This is an art form in itself.
Absolutely. And look, their boxes are just amazing as well. The amount of detail that's on this cigar is nothing compared to the boxes themselves. The boxes just pop. When you have the privilege of going into a brick and mortar shop in any other part of the world where you're actually allowed to display tobacco, what they actually do is they've actually got a cardboard flap that's on the inside of the box that folds down, so the lid goes up like that, and it's all embossed on the inside of the lid here. The cigars are laying here, and on top of the cigars there's another flap that folds down in front that hangs over the edge of the shelf like a shelf hanger, and it's all embossed, it's all foiled, and it just pops. So gorgeous presentation. Omar, what do you reckon of the aroma? What are you getting?
I think I was actually doing exactly and thinking exactly that, but from the foot for the actual wrapper.
Foot, I'm getting barnyard myself.
Of course,
yeah, barnyard.
There is some form of sweet citrus, like a dark sweet citrus.
Yeah, I'm going with dried fruit, and I reckon it's going to have a flavor profile. Is going to be in that kind of pickled vegetables as well. I think your pickles, your pickled cabbage, this sort of undertone is going to be there as well.
That fermentation part, yeah. Look, it's probably I could still think there might be some sweetness to it, which kind of propels towards more sweet rather than savory, I think.
Yeah. All right.
Let's light up.
Yeah. Couldn't agree more. Construction is, I mean, this is one of the Perdomo strong suits. This is a gloriously perfect cigar from a construction point of view. The draw, it's exactly what you want it to be. Tiny bit of resistance, not a tiny bit, slightly more than a tiny bit of resistance, but a good amount. Lets you know that you're smoking a cigar that's got some serious content to it. It's packed nice and firm. This wrapper is just gorgeous, absolutely unblemished. That's lovely. All right. So Damo and I are doing the slow toast. Omar has gone for the open flame.
Yeah. Perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Well, for those of you that have joined us since the start of the show, can I just say you guys missed an incredible show opening. If you haven't heard the 30-second long stock music opener that comes with StreamYard, you need to be on time for next week's show, because that had me dancing. Just reminded me of the best elevator rides that I've ever had in my life. That's just, when those doors close, you're on your own, the music comes on, just fantastic. So make sure you're on time for next month's show.
Definitely dried fruit straight off on the light up.
Yeah. Oh, that's beautiful.
What about smoke production? It's amazing.
There's also straight off the cuff. I'm actually getting a coffee note on that as well. And look at that ring.
Right off the bat.
Start of the cigar. That has got to be one of the best starts to a cigar I've seen.
So that's a good opening. Good opening for a cigar.
Pretty good.
Help me out, guys. Is this a compliment or not? Should I feel good about this?
Wow. Boys, I don't know about this coffee, but
look at that, another ring.
Yeah, that's accidental.
2 rings in 2 puffs. Wow.
That's all you're going to be saying all night.
Imagine if every single puff has a ring in it. You won't know what to do with yourself.
It'll be the best constructed cigar I've ever seen. Sorry, Omar, you were saying?
I was saying there's the fruitiness whether it's a dry fruitiness, and I'm still going towards more of a drier marmalade type of finish when you chew on that bit. Very marmalade. Yeah. Very, very.
Yeah. That combination of the dried fruit, the concentrated fruit flavor, a little bit citrusy. But for me, there is still that little barnyard or fermented undertone. For me, they're a very close, in my opinion, they're a very close flavor profile to each other.
End of the palate. That just comes afterwards. Yeah. Beautiful.
This is going to sound really quirky.
Oh my!
But it's almost like this cigar has got the Cuban tang that's grown up, matured, and become more complex.
That is one of the wankiest.
How we're always looking at that Cuban tang. That Cuban tang is sort of almost that marmalade, sort of kumquat grapefruit, sort of citrusy note. This is just like, it's grown balls and actually, become a man. And it's like deep and earthy and rich and bold and strong and
wow, that's pretty cool.
That's my take on the start of this cigar.
Look,
Damo, are you well?
No, I'm not. Never have been.
just
I hang around Omar too much. Clearly not.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, are you lonely? Is everything okay at home? Like, I'm just.
He came and gave me a hug because he knew I was flying out, and so it was kind of warm and fuzzy.
Look at that, another ring. My goodness, I've never seen so many rings in the start of a cigar.
I haven't seen this many rings since I used to dance in Fitzroy.
I'm sure you see them all the time still. You just don't want to admit to it.
People still send me the photographs.
That's all right.
All right, so it's settled. Sorry, you go.
Look, I kind of see what Dave was saying, right? So this tang is far more sweeter than a typical Cuban tang, and so it's got a lot more combustion, smoke production, flavor profile than an average Cuban. And obviously, I agree with Damo, the complexity, you don't often get that in a Cuban when it's sweet. So
yeah. For me, there is another undertone that we haven't talked about yet, and I'm not clear on what it is, but it's a charcoal, but it's like charcoal the next morning. It's not burning in your face. It's just that lingering charcoal scent. So I've got a spit here, a charcoal spit. We'll do lamb or something, and the next day I'll come back to it to tip all the charcoal out, and it's just that kind of. I don't even know how to describe it, but there is that. You mentioned combustion. It's this combustion kind of note, but I'm not really clear on it yet.
Roger.
Are bourbon barrels charred?
That's a good question. I don't actually know. Might be. I might do a quick Google on that one.
Because we could actually be tasting the charring from the bourbon barrel.
Yeah.
Yes, bourbon barrels are charred because U.S. law requires bourbon barrels to be aged in new charred oak containers.
There you go.
Well, there you go. We have picked up a very specific note from the barrel. There you go.
Fantastic.
And in fact, I didn't need to Google it. I just needed to ask Stephen.
Thank you, Stephen.
Stephen.
In future, I'm going to change my default browser. It'll no longer go to Google. It'll go to Stephen.
Hey, and he might not even ask you for age verification as well. So it's just win-win.
Brace yourself. I do search for some weird stuff. Okay, I'm just letting you know.
Well, since we're on a Perdomo fetish, look at that, another ring. My goodness.
You're going to stop talking about him. Just all you're going to talk about all night.
Well, guess who has arranged a meeting with Uncle Nick?
Oh, here we go. Here we go. The professor is entering his Monica Lewinsky era.
I have been invited to both a conference and a wedding in the US in October. And while I'm over there, I'm taking the opportunity. I've got a 24-hour window of darting down to Florida. And
Wow.
I already emailed ahead and said, will Uncle Nick be there? And I have been told he's most likely going to be there, and that shouldn't be a problem. But if he is called away on business, his son, Nick Jr., will look after me. So there we go.
Wow. Wow. VIP treatment. Halfway around the world. Well done, Professor Damo.
So I'm hoping I can convince them to allow me to record a interview talking about the cigars and their business and where they see the future of cigars, etc. And hopefully what I can do is I'll actually, with your help, have it come into a future show, and we'll actually have probably a 15-20 minute little clip that we can play while we're enjoying yet another Perdomo cigar.
Yep. No, that'd be awesome. And then, see if you can get a couple of cutaways of, I don't know, some cigars being made or something if you're at the factory. Or actually, they don't make them in Florida, do they?
So they're in Nicaragua. Where
yeah. Oh, that's a shame. But yeah, get some other shots of, I don't know, some stock. Give us some good cigar porn. Just this entire stock room filled with them would be awesome.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, from what I understand, now I could be mistaken on this, but I do believe that they have certain blends of cigar that are only available in their lounge and a few selected Perdomo branded lounges in America. So
wow.
I'm looking forward to going there and getting some cigars that you cannot buy from anywhere else unless you are physically in their cigar lounge. So
amazing. Yeah, that'd be incredible. Although I think that Dan has figured you out here. And actually, Dan, I'm kind of on Damo's side here, because if you think about it, his name would be Damo Perdomo. Like it's Damo Perdomo. Come on, do you blame him? That's kind of cool.
Hey, be heir to an empire.
You'd have to just outcompete Nick Jr. though.
This is true. That's a big enough empire. They can subdivide it.
Yeah, that didn't work out so well for the Romans.
True. Hey, Cos, how are you? It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Perdomo. Yeah, we'll play with it. We'll play with it. All right, guys, tasting notes. Where are we at?
It's very gentle on the retro.
Mm.
There's almost just a very, very soft floral on the retro. It's actually toned down for me considerably from the light up.
Yeah, same. The sweetness is backed off. Well, Cos, thanks for joining us during your relaxed time at the end of a big day. Bit of bakery, says Mr. Stew.
Yeah, I'd agree with Stu's comment there. It's sort of that citrus is really toned down, and it's a little bit biscuity, bready, very, very faint almond note in there as well.
That's what it is. I was hunting for that. Yep. Okay. Yeah, a little bit of almond skin or sort of a slightly bitter almond.
Yeah.
But burning absolutely perfectly.
Mm.
Yeah, the almond bit is right. I was sort of going over towards marzipan. The sweetness gives it that little touch as well. But yeah, it's definitely got some almond stuff going on there.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful cigar. So, boys, I don't want I don't want to scare you or anything, but you should know that I'm a little bit of a big deal now, because probably by the time we have our next show, just down in that little pigeonhole there, or maybe up here in front of the TV, if I want to be a bit more obnoxious about it, is going to be a silver-colored YouTube play button.
Ah.
What does that mean?
It's an award they give you at YouTube for getting 100,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel.
Oh, cool. Very cool. Very cool.
So obviously I'm not going to have time for you boys anymore. I've got to leave all the playground kindergarten kids behind and just go and play with the big boys now, you know?
Yeah. You like big boys, don't you?
Hey, I like big boys and I cannot lie. No, is that how the song goes? I can't. Something like that. It was close. It was close to that. Yeah. Yeah.
We get it.
I'm still getting that char note though.
Yeah, that's pretty distinct. And I reckon that's probably going to go all the way through, given that it has sat in that bourbon barrel for so long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's definitely toned down a little bit for sure. It has toned down a little bit for sure.
Yeah. Which is no bad thing. You know, Maduros don't lack flavor, and this doesn't lack flavor. But it came out of the gate pretty bold with quite a lot of sweetness, and yeah, it's kind of settled down a little bit.
It has.
You know what? I'm not trying to start nothing, but I'm just looking up how many subscribers the Cigar Professor has. Okay, got 238 subscribers. Been going for what, 5 years? So that means that the Cigar Professor will get to 100,000 subscribers sometime around about the same time as we're colonizing Mars. So, you know, that's great. Look, yeah, I'm not trying to start nothing. I'm just, you know, just saying.
We're getting there.
Yeah, getting there. Get 238. I mean, it's nothing to be sniffed at.
Yeah.
Probably 16 of them are Omar's imaginary friends, but that's okay.
Try a couple of hundred.
So is it actually made out of metal or is it just silver plastic?
No, I believe it is. I believe it's actually a solid kind of billet that they then, I'm assuming they CNC rat. I don't actually know, but it's highly polished and you know, they look nice enough. But it's what it represents, really, is what it's about. But they have gone from bigger to smaller. They've made them smaller, and they're like, "Yay! We've got this new design lightweight award." It's like they don't want to say smaller because they're cheap asses or you know, whatever. But still, it's sorry,
it's inflation.
Well, that's shrinkflation. I was surprised. I thought I had to pay for it. And I actually don't. The first one, they just send it out to me. They cover the postage, they cover everything. And yeah, so I don't even have to pay for it. I've ordered it now. And yeah, they reckon 2 weeks it'll get to me.
Cool. Very cool.
I see.
It is.
David joined us.
David has joined us.
Back on the show. It's been a little while.
And speaking of quality, welcome back to the show, David.
Definitely right. It's always about the quality.
Yeah. It's
anyway,
true. We've got
while I'm in America,
right.
I have also got to fly through Phoenix on a couple of occasions to get to where I'm going, but there's no direct flights between some of the cities I'm traveling. So I'm going to take a layover in Phoenix and go to the Cigars Daily store and meet up with Tim. I've already reached out to Tim and he's keen to meet and greet.
Nice.
So, never know, we might even have another video coming out of there as well.
Nice. We'll have to space them out over a couple of episodes of the Cigar Professor.
Yes. Yeah. Well, one of my hidden reasons for going to Cigars Daily HQ is I believe they're one of the only stores that stock the Woody.
Oh,
which
right.
is the 100 ring gauge by 21-inch cigar.
Okay. Can you ask them a very specific question about it then?
Yes.
Is it on their fire insurance for the building? And if so, what is its insured value? I want to know.
I do know the last time I looked, which was a few years ago, they were retailing for about $100 a stick.
Is that all? That actually,
Yeah.
for that amount of tobacco, that actually, I guess it still is only one cigar to roll. It's just a lot of cigar to rolls. So yeah. I mean, the press they would need for it.
Yeah.
Like, gosh.
Topher, are you hosting this show?
Am I hosting?
Yeah.
Very loosely, I guess. Technically, yeah. Why?
You're a loose guy, but hear me out.
Right.
Flying out tomorrow, yeah?
Right.
And I appreciate that you had a really good news about the Silver Star. And it makes me happy for sure. You know, I'm happy for you as well. The same token, I've got kind of a very bad news.
Oh,
it's a personal thing, so I thought I'd let you guys know as well. It's not some breaking news or anything. It's just kind of a sad news. A dear friend of mine is basically has put his eggs in one basket at one point in terms of the personal relationships, and he had a very bad ending. I don't know where is he going in terms of, people do things to themselves. They were going overseas. They contacted their first love, Steve Saka, and they got dissed. They got told, "Get the fuck out of my face." And all this story about Uncle Nick, Auntie Nick, fucking tranny Nick, or whatever Nick that might be, it stems from their rejection. So,
hey, rebound relationships are still relationships, okay?
I don't believe. I don't agree, nor do I believe. I think it's sad. I'm very sad for my friend.
See, the biggest hole in your story, Omar, is that in order for me to believe your story, I have to believe that you have friends. And at that, sorry, your story just fails at the first hurdle.
Actually, it's a true friend. It's a very huggy kind of friend. He fixed my habits type of friend.
I don't think I want any more details, actually. I think I'm good. I think we can leave it there. Yeah, I'm going to take you off the show if you keep going.
Anyways, the point is there was a bit of rejection, and we didn't want to talk about it too much. But Uncle Stevie just didn't want to barf it or soap.
Look, I think Damo Perdomo is better than Damo Saka anyway. So to be honest, I think this has kind of worked out well.
Yeah, that's true. It just happened to be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Group hug. Cause not wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, we're feeling the love tonight, guys. Feeling the love.
We're only a few away for a 6.25% increase on the tobacco tax again.
Oh fuck, man! Seriously.
Always with the bad news, aren't you, Damo?
No good.
Bundle of joy, you are. So David Lionhelm, if you're still with us, you're going to have to redo the numbers on that "thank you for smoking" speech. Give me some updated numbers. I'll do a video, a "thank you for smoking" video. Okay, I'm not asking you to do my homework for me, but if you could point me in the direction of where I can find the numbers, that would be appreciated. I'll do a "thank you for smoking" video, especially around the increase in the tobacco excise, but now also this absurd licensing nonsense. At a time when the tobacco wars are out of control, we've just found out that tobacco kingpins were being paid by Iran to carry out some of these attacks that they just expelled the Iranian ambassador for. At what point do we just admit this is not working for the stated policy purpose of trying to reduce smoking rates? It just ain't working.
Yeah. It's pretty bizarre.
Since you've brought politics into the equation, and yet another incredible ring, and I saw a few more prior to.
Excuse me,
prior
you
to that
brought
one as
politics into the equation because you started talking about tax. Just because I gleefully leapt upon the opportunity doesn't make it my fault. You brought it up.
I've been listening to Margaret Thatcher's autobiographies. She's done a few of them.
Oh, cool.
And actually narrated by her, which is actually quite nice to actually hear it, spoken in the first person.
Sorry. She's done multiple autobiographies. Was it like one for each personality or something? Like, how do you?
Oh, well, it was like there's one on her, like her overall history, and one on the when she was prime minister, and one when she was and so different phases of her life. She's written different biographies. There's a lot of overlap between them. But anyway, some of her campaign slogans I thought were pretty appropriate and could be used in today's context.
Okay.
It was one of the successful ones that she used is cut the rot, sack the lot. I thought that would go down very well in today's one.
Yeah, that's not bad.
The other one was vote right to keep what's left.
Yeah, okay. All right.
And I like those. I reckon they would. They're worthy of a relaunch. I think so.
It's a bit more pointed than hope and change.
Yes. So, David, you're watching. You've got contacts within the Libertarians. Let them know that there's some slogans that they should be seriously considering for the next campaigns.
What were Obama's two slogans? There was hope and change and yes, we can, I think was the other one.
Yeah.
Like so meaningless.
Yeah.
Stop the rot, sack the lot. I like that. I really do. Sweet to the point. I don't think anyone could argue with it.
It's not bad. Mind you, it's too many words. It's 6 words. And clearly, based on Obama's results, you got to get it down to 3.
We could just say sack the lot.
Yeah, sack the lot. Yeah.
Well, they were both very, very good speakers.
True.
They're very, very good speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably the best come across in the United States in about 30, 40 years. And same for her. She was probably the best in, 3, 4 decades.
She's the best they've had since as well. They've just had useless run of prime ministers. Nothing charming about them at all.
Yeah.
Obama ran on Bob the Builder's line. I had not made that connection, but you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Well, based on that success philosophy, should we take a line from Taylor Swift and run with that? That would buy the youth vote, I'm sure. I don't know.
Shake it off. Shake it off. Yeah. Shake the state off. Get out of that bad relationship. I mean, an album of breakup songs from Taylor Swift talking about breaking up with the state. Now that I could become a Swiftie for that.
Yeah.
Damn, you're smoking very slow.
Me?
Oh no, you're almost there.
Yeah, same as
clearly, judging by the amount of ash, I'm smoking the slowest. Clearly.
Maybe it's a different cigar.
Yeah, maybe.
It's sweet. It's still got that almond note to it. Still got that little bit of char in there. And it's more of a light milk coffee in there as well for me at the moment.
So tonight I'm actually pairing with my Swedish bitters and walnut extract. And I've actually, so it's just water and those two. So it's a slightly bitter kind of a drink, but it's actually pairing really, really well. In a way, it's doing similar things to what a black tea does. Now, the black tea does it with the tannins, of course, but this is really bringing out some of those more savory and tangy sort of flavors in the cigar.
Mm.
Well, I've got a Black Earl Grey, and I'm also interchanging it with a Blood Orange soda, which
Nice.
I think that those citrus notes were definitely pairing off with it at the start very nicely.
Yeah, they would. Well, Mr. Stew's guess was, let me guess, kombucha, black tea, and an iced coffee. And then when I told him what mine was, he said, close. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. What do you got, Omar? What are you drinking?
Yeah, I think he's almost perfect. Some kombucha, some blueberry kombucha. That's how it looks like.
Well, we are nothing if not predictable.
Yeah.
Except your rings, they're something else tonight.
Well, I'm struggling the last couple of minutes, but they'll be back. Don't you worry.
I saw a bit of one in that last one, so.
Yeah, a little bit. Stop looking at me like that, Omar. I can't do it under pressure. I can't perform when people are watching.
I can't believe how soft and smooth the retro on this cigar is.
It is very
especially
soft
for a Maduro.
Yeah.
Because, normally you're expecting bolder, flavors with a Maduro, but it's so gentle on the retro.
Yeah. Very nice.
Stu,
he's compensating.
Stu, have you ever recorded yourself on the thermal camera on your phone smoking a cigar? I'd be slightly curious. Let me know in the comments.
Could he join in live stream on the thermal camera?
Maybe. I'd love to know if can the thermal camera actually pick up as you draw? Does it see the heat being drawn down through the cigar? Don't know.
Only Stu could tell us that, I'm sure.
Yeah, he will. He will.
That's why I'm asking. He's probably gone, oh, that's a great idea. And he's probably setting himself up right now to go and try and get a video or a photograph. Oh, stop showing off.
Stop it, man.
Where are you up to, Omar?
I want to talk about all this stuff. Seriously.
All right, stop goofing off, Professor Damo, and get back to work. And do you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on?
I'll put mine down with grace so I don't make a big mess everywhere.
What do we got for next pack?
Oh, that's right. Hang on.
I tried to catch you with your mouth full just to kind of, embarrass you, make it awkward.
I was having trouble trying to work out what I wanted to do. So, I was going to start from the beginning and go to the end, but I think I might start at the end and go back to the beginning.
As you wish.
Because Daniel was talking about Walked.
Ah, yes.
And I thought, he's always on the show. He's one of our subscribers. Why not? So, we have Walked Grand Reserva.
Ooh.
And it's a little bit odd shaped. It's a bit bigger than a Robusto.
I was going to say it's
about a Robusto.
Yeah,
it's about the Robusto diameter, but I think it's just a tad longer in length.
Yeah. Okay.
So anyway, that's for Daniel for the next pack. So he better bloody well subscribe in the next pack. Otherwise, he's just banned from ever getting a pack from us ever again.
That's right.
That was just for you, Daniel. No one else.
He'll be our first ever banned customer. We haven't even banned Daniel Andrews. If he wanted to buy from us, we would let him, but we'll ban you, Dan, if you don't follow through on this pack.
That's right. That's right. Now we've all loved the Hammer and Sickle.
Mm-hmm.
We did the Connecticut, we did the Sun Grown, and then I managed to get hold of some of the Hermitage No. 1 St. Petersburgs in a Toro. Then I managed to get the Robusto. We've done the Robusto. Well, scraping the bottom of the barrel, I managed to get hold of some Churchill.
Ooh.
Gorgeous.
Ooh.
So we're now going to see what a Churchill Hammer and Sickle Hermitage No. 1 St. Petersburg is like.
Don't make any plans before 10 p.m. on that night because we will be here for at least 2 hours.
It will be a long stick.
Yeah.
But it's also pressed, and it is quite the
gorgeous.
Stick. It's got some good to it for a Churchill, I can tell you.
Yeah.
If I hold it up against the other one, it's a bit hard to see, but you can see.
The other one looked big until you put it next to this one.
Yeah, so it's a girthy Churchill.
Yeah, that's why I don't shower in like public open showers because it looks big until you have something to compare it to.
Mm.
Yeah, and then you can't see.
I tell people if it doesn't look big enough, your glasses aren't strong enough. All right.
And so the next one in the pack to balance our pack out, because we've got 2 above average sticks there, I did have to go for something a little bit more in the petite size, but I thought, well, we're not going to cheap out on a petite stick. So I have the Davidoff Winston Churchill Late Hour.
Oh, yes.
They call it a petite Pantella, which is a 4x38, which is about the same size as the Puritos that we've had in the past.
Yeah.
So that will be a very good
wrong with that.
Well.
Nothing wrong with that. So that'll be our first. Then the Churchill will be month 2.
I haven't decided.
Okay.
I was going to go 1, 2, 3.
Go in size order. All right.
In size order, but I might swap it around. I haven't done the letter that goes out with the orders yet, so I'll contemplate that one.
From an age point of view, do you want to put the late hour last, just being the darkest of the tobaccos? Would that benefit from an extra 3 months?
Well, it's also probably the youngest of the cigars that I've purchased, so that would make a lot of sense. That respect. The Hermitage No. 1 is already, possibly a decade old already. So,
are you serious?
Yeah. It's been out of the company's been out of
that's true.
Operation since the start of the Ukraine war, and it was old stock back then. So
wow. All right.
I'd say that there has to be at least 8 years on that stick, possibly more. It would be impossible to be less than 8 years on it.
Yeah, wow. That is amazing.
So anyway, that's the next pack. The emails will probably be going out, probably not this week, but next week.
Nice.
But there is one horrendous piece of news, is that because I was restricted to purchasing flights with points back and forth, I had to take where there was reward seats available. Right. And unfortunately, the only reward seat that I could get as close after the wedding back to Australia means that in the show of October, I will be mid-flight back to Australia. So I will not be able to join you. So
you're doing Topher on us.
I am. But at least I've got the decency to pre-warn you about it and explain myself and not just snub everybody and do a no-show and no explanation. So
I've done change flights. I've done everything. This is a fucking joke. This is absolute.
No,
hey, I tried. I tried. I spent hours and hours and hours trying to find flights to that I could
That's
buy
fair.
with points to get, and I just could not find anything that would work. I'd either miss the wedding or I'd end up being in America for longer, which meant that I ran out of money to stay there. So,
Okay.
mind you, Uncle Donald must want me to stay there because I put in for my ESTA application, and I've done it in the past, and you usually get it issued for 12 months. You know, the date that you plan to enter, and it's valid for 12 months. They gave me one; it was valid for just over 24 months. So they obviously want me to stay there longer.
Yeah, they like you. I mean, they like crazy people who blow things up all the time. That's the American thing. They're like, Damo, just come home. Just come and be with us.
Well, look, yeah. Actually, when you apply for it now, you actually have to post the links to your social media profiles. So they've obviously scrutinized my social media profiles and seen that I'm a MAGA person.
Yeah, you're a cigar aficionado.
I'm a cigar smoking, gun shooting MAGA person. So obviously, I'm someone that Uncle Donald wants in his country.
Yeah.
So, and I agree with his comments on certain people of our country. So there you go.
Some really good news came out last night. You know how I know that you all watch every single episode that I release. You watch all of my work religiously, and I understand that. So, but just in case there happens to be someone watching that isn't intimately familiar with every single word that has ever come out of my mouth, let me remind you that I've been saying since Trump was inaugurated that he's been engaged in tariff diplomacy, specifically around issues of free speech, and especially online. And I've been laughed at a few times. People going, "Oh no, it's all about the money." But I'm like, no, it is about the money, but it's also this is tariff diplomacy. He's using that as leverage. He actually came out last night and said it. He came out and said so. The UK just had to reverse their ban on encryption. So they tried to ban end-to-end encryption, and so Apple were the first company they targeted. And Apple, to their credit, and I don't say nice things about Apple very often, but to their credit, they said we're not going to play along with this, and they withdrew their encryption service from the UK, whereas what the UK government had told them to do was give them a backdoor, and that backdoor would have applied globally. And Apple said, no, we're not doing that. So they just withdrew the service entirely from the UK market. And that's actually the only reason we found out about it was that. And then because of that, there was a leak to an American to the Washington Post, because in the UK government had put a gag order on UK media. So if a UK journalist had reported on the fact that the UK government was demanding a backdoor into Apple's encryption, that journalist could have gone to prison just for talking about it. Yeah. Wow. And so because Apple withdrew their services, someone over in Washington Post looked into why, and they found the story and they reported on it, and it broke globally. That happened in February. Now, Trump was inaugurated in January. That story broke in February, and Trump was pissed. And Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, took a personal interest in it. And just 2 days ago, the UK government announced that they were reversing their requirement for Apple to give them a backdoor into the encryption. And Tulsi Gabbard posted on her Twitter saying that decision had been made because of pressure from the President of the United States and Vice President Vance and herself. Fast forward 1 day later, Trump has literally come out and said that he will impose punitive tariffs on any foreign country that tries to interfere with the freedoms and rights of any American tech company. Now, that is massive and vindicates what I've been saying all along. And I literally released a video yesterday or the day before saying that now that he's conquered the UK, my hope is that he's going to turn around to our Karen and her social media age verification stuff, and that we're next in his sights. And I really, really hope that comes to pass.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. So if you could suck up to Donald Trump while you're over there, that would be great. Damo?
Mm-hmm. Well, look, I'm sure he would rather meet with me than our current ambassador over there.
Please be the ambassador for Australia. Please.
I have never said the things that ambassador has said about the Don. And let's get one thing straight. Everyone has their good sides and their bad sides. Everyone's got their pros and cons. But at the end of the day, I think that the good is definitely outweighing the bad when it comes to the Don and everything he's been doing.
Yep. Well, anytime I look at him and go, ugh, no, you know, because he does stuff I don't like, I then remember that the alternative was Kamala Harris. And I go, you know what? We're good. We're good. Yeah, we're good. Mm-hmm.
Or at one stage, it was going to be Biden again.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, they just had to animate his body, just put him on dialysis and just keep pumping that blood through and, you know, keep him going for a bit longer.
Well, I do know of friends of mine in the US who are lifelong Democrats who basically are no longer lifelong Democrats.
Yeah, wow. Well, a good point, Mr. Stu. Back to the cigar. I'm not getting a lot of sweetness anymore.
There's an undertone. I agree with Stu.
Ooh. That almond note's gone a little bit more bitter almond on me now.
And it's a very citrus, it's a very cedar-like. The end tones, there's a cedar type of woodiness popping out after the almond.
Yeah, I feel like the whole cigar is kind of deepened.
Yeah.
I'll get him to write on his hand, Dan, to remind himself that Donald Trump is not. His name's escaped me. Damn it, that was going to be funny, and now the moment's gone. Oh, come on. Donald Trump is not Clinton.
Yeah.
Either of them.
Yeah, Clinton's.
Look, I really think that would do something good for his image if the Don was out there playing golf with a cigar.
Oh, totally. Totally. It's the one thing that's missing is the cigars.
That's right.
It would complete the Don as an image.
That's right.
It would absolutely complete that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a sharpness coming in for me now. It's more than just the bitter almond. It's gone beyond that now. There's almost a peppermint.
Did you see cedar in the end? I mean, do you feel that there's cedar in the end?
There's cedar. There's definitely cedar. I agree with that observation.
You know, one of my biggest troubles I'm going to have when I'm in America is learning to put my cigar down when it just gets past the band. The next one.
Yeah, that's true.
And then my biggest problem is going to be when I come back to Australia is actually smoking the cigar past the band.
All the way to the end. How long are you there for?
18 days.
All right, so it's a decent trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
So the conference goes for 3 days, 1 night and 3 days or something like that. So,
yeah.
And I'm doing a lot of running around the States too. And every time I go
Yeah.
somewhere, it's almost a day's travel. So I land in LA, but you've got to allow enough time to get through immigration and customs coming into the country.
Yeah.
And then get your baggage and all that. And then, so you don't want to book your next flight too soon. But the next flight to the city that I'm starting off in wasn't until 4 hours or 5 hours later, which meant by the time I finally got there and got to my hotel room, it was going to be like 2 a.m. and 36 hours of travel. And I just said, nah, So I land in LA and I'm just going to stay the night at the hotel near the airport, get a good night's sleep, and then the next morning head down and catch the flight. But like I go from LA to Miami, Miami to Salt Lake City to Phoenix to Omaha for the wedding. And then I'm actually going to do a bit of a road trip up into South Dakota and fly from South Dakota back to LA and then back home again.
Yeah, nice. I think it's a good idea to spend the night at LAX. I think, you know, at your age, you've just got to really start to think about slowing down a bit, and not pushing yourself as much. You don't rebound like young people like me do.
No.
Yeah. Just gotta allow for that, you know.
I know.
And then just remember as well that they do count your Zimmer frame in the luggage, the carry-on luggage allowance. They weigh that as well. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
And not to take any lighters with me.
Yeah. How to get instantly in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Or cutters.
Yes, don't even get me started. Don't take nail clippers. I think they allow nail clippers now, but it's just the fact that they were ever banned is just... Anyway.
It'll be interesting to see when I come back through, because the last time I was in the States was 2017. And every time I went to an airport, you had to take your shoes off to go through security.
Yeah. So frustrating. So here's the big question, Damo. What are you going to do for coffee?
I'm taking Australian coffee with me.
I thought so. Yeah.
I take a little VC, my hand grinder, a few bags of beans in my hotel room, sit it on my cup, make my coffee every morning.
Yeah.
So don't make the mistake that I made. Do you know what a Bellman is? It's a little stovetop pressure vessel.
Yes.
And you can do sort of poor man's espresso out of it. It gets enough pressure to give you a resemblance of a shot of coffee, and you can steam and froth milk and all the rest of it. So before I started drinking long blacks, I bought one of those, and I was fiddling with it and trying to get it to make good coffee, and I never got good at it. But my wife and I flew up to the Whitsundays, and we spent a week on a boat. We just sailed a catamaran around the Whitsundays for a week with my brother and his wife, and had some fun. It was great. But I got the Bellman, opened up the big pressure vessel, stuffed the coffee and everything inside, and closed it back up again, and went, this will fit in my carry-on. So I put it in my carry-on. So we're going through security. We've checked in our bags. The bags are gone. We're going through security at Melbourne Airport to fly up to the Whitsundays. And my bag is going through the scanner, the X-ray scanner. And all of a sudden there's a bit of movement and more people are coming over, and there's some, you know, you just get that sense of, well, hang on, the room just came alive a little bit. I realized, hang on, I'm the center of attention here, and not in a good, this is not the kind of attention that I like. And I happened to be standing somewhere where I could kind of glance over, and I saw the image of my bag on the scanner screen. And the Bellman is exactly what a bomb would look like. And it has the spout for the steamer and knobs and things coming off it. And in the X-ray machine, it looks like a bomb. I saw it, and I immediately, I thought, this is not going to go well. So I put a big smile on my face. And one of the guys was, you know, his whole focus had shifted to me. They hadn't moved in on me at this point, but his whole focus had shifted to me. And I said, I can see it. I get it. It's a coffee thing. I don't remember what I said. I couldn't get a sentence out properly. And yes, they made me open the bag, and there were quite a lot of people standing around me as I then produced the Bellman and unscrewed the little lid and pulled the thing apart, and out came the bag with the coffee grinds in it and everything else. And it was all good. Don't travel with a coffee making machine in your travel on luggage. It looks exactly like a bomb.
Yeah, damn.
So you still got your Bellman?
Yeah, it's sitting unloved and unused.
So all the times I've visited you, you've had a reasonable coffee making machine and haven't told me about it.
I could never get a good coffee out of it. Do you know how to use them? Can you get a good coffee out of them?
I've never tried, but I'd love to give it a go.
Oh, you can keep it. I have no need for it anymore. But I fiddled with it. I tried all sorts of different things, and I just could never get it to behave the way that it did. I watched all the video tutorials, and I did exactly what they showed. I just could never get it to behave that way. All right. So Dan wants to know, does anyone else have sparkles? My answer is no, I don't.
Nah.
How many whiskeys has he had?
I don't know, but he's comparing his cigar to Spearmint Rhino. Mate, if you've seen a sparkly cigar, it wasn't at Spearmint Rhino. It was somewhere else, probably on Johnson Street, okay? I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
I think if he looked around the room might be sparkling too.
Really good question from Tony. Damo, do you want to take this one?
Absolutely. Great question, Tony. So there was the idea that when you drop ash on a cigar, if you get a little cone point sticking out, you're smoking a cigar too fast. And if it's a cone pointing in, you're smoking the cigar too slow. Now, that's a very crude rule of thumb, and it is sort of true. But what I've actually found out is that what they do is they actually put slower burning tobaccos in the center, in the fill. And the reason you'll end up with a bit more of a point in the center, and I only learnt this the other week, and I can't remember off the top of my head which particular priming of leaves off the tobacco plant, but one of the primings of leaves is known to be a lot slower and is also often used in the fill tobacco. And so the reason you get that cone is because what's happening is the outside's burning a little bit faster. So there is a bit of logic that if you're actually smoking the cigar too fast, what you're doing is you're burning the outside quicker than the inside can burn at. And that's why you are getting that little bit of a cone. But it's not necessarily always the case, because I have had some cigars where I've smoked it so slowly that it's gone out on me, and yet it still had that cone shape as well. If you're seeing it all the time on all your cigars, that might be worth something to think about, trying to slow down your puff rate on the cigar. But if you see it from time to time, I wouldn't be overly worried about it.
I always just take it as a reminder to slow down a little bit, because I tend to smoke faster than I could. I like cigars, and I puff on them more than what I need to keep it lit and to keep it going well. So whenever I see that, Tony, I just go, that's right, slow down. And whether that's actually the problem or not, I just take that as a reminder.
Yeah, well, look, when I'm introducing cigars to someone who's new and trying to learn how to smoke a cigar and everything like that, I always tell them that smoking a cigar is this fun game of smoking slow enough that it almost goes out, but just fast enough that it doesn't. And that's where that sweet spot of the best flavors is going to come out of your cigar, where the fire is barely hot enough to keep it lit, and it's that temperature that's going to vaporize most of those oils and flavors out of the tobacco and give you the best taste. If you're smoking too slow, it will go out, and you won't get those proper flavors coming through. And if you smoke too fast, it's just going to be too hot, and you're going to get burnt, ashy, and washed out flavors coming through. And
Whiskey Pete explained this to us, I think, in the very first pack of the Cigar Professor. He was talking us through, was it acetone? I feel like he said acetone, but that doesn't seem right. But there are might have been ammonia. There are other chemicals in the tobacco that if it heats up a bit more slowly and the warmth has a bit of time to just kind of sit there, then it'll kind of just evaporate those out of the cigar without you having to draw them. And you'll get better flavors that way.
That was ammonia.
Ammonia, was it?
Yeah.
Yep. And also, aging a cigar is getting rid of the ammonia in the cigar as well. So the reason that an aged cigar tastes so much better is basically that you've given it time to naturally get rid of that ammonia from the ammonia. I still can't believe how many rings you're getting out of that cigar. I think this is an all-time record for the number of rings.
It'd be up there. It'd be up there. Yeah, so Dan said earlier, he's reminding us now, you put it down for 5 minutes and it never went out, picked it up and drew perfectly. Yep.
Omar, what was the cigar we had on Saturday? I'm trying to remember.
This Saturday?
I didn't take a photo of it, but you did. The Saturday just gone with Rabi there.
Oh, that was the aged from your original batch. What's it called? What's the name? From your original batch. Do you reckon it was Saturday?
Yeah, it was on Saturday. It came up on Saturday morning. Made coffee. We wait. I got there before you and Rabi, and we're still waiting. Anyway, that all I remember was that was a phenomenal cigar because we had multiple coffees, and I put the cigar down and I had enough time to walk to the back of his shop, set up all my gear, make another batch of coffee.
Wow.
Grind it, boil the kettle, make it, come back out. I went to go and get the lighter to light up my cigar again because I was fairly confident it had gone out because it had to have easily been 8-9 minutes.
Yeah, wow.
And I just started puffing on it while I was reaching for the lighter, and it relit by itself.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal.
Nice.
I just love it when a cigar does that for you. Nothing speaks quality better than a cigar that you can put down for 5 minutes or more and then pick it up and it's still going.
Well, that's the key to that, as best as I can tell, is one, the quality of the tobacco, the oiliness, etc., but also getting that perfect balance of a dense pack that isn't too loose, that it just doesn't have the density of heat, but isn't so tight that you can't draw it. That speaks of a manufacturer that's really got that balance exactly right.
Yep.
There's a chocolate Damo.
Haven't had a chance to make it yet, Stu. I've got the beans, everything ready to go. It's just got to have the time to do it. It's at least 48 hours to 72 hours for me to make a batch. There we go. It was a Perdomo. Wow. There we go.
That's the sun-grown 10th anniversary.
Yes.
They're a beautiful stick.
Yeah.
And those were from the same batch when we had it back in the pack.
Yeah, wow.
Back in the days we were doing the 13 stick packs.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Back when we started. So, Mr. Stu, when I read this question, my mind went in a different direction. I was like, is that like a Madame Tussauds wax Damo? Is there like a chocolate Damo out there somewhere? This is why commas are important. Grammar, it matters.
I'm not finding a lot of flavor transitions moving into the final third.
It's been pretty steady, this cigar.
Yeah.
So it's always a little bit frightening getting an unsolicited cigar pick, because the thumbnail, it's ambiguous. It could be an unsolicited something else, but I just got an unsolicited cigar pick from Daniel, trying to show me the alleged glinting, the bloom. Can't see it. Sorry, buddy. You sure you didn't smoke something else first before you got to the cigar? Because that would explain a lot.
It's definitely a glossy wrapper with the oils in it.
Yeah, it's oily.
I wouldn't say it's glinting. And no. I don't think there's enough age in these sticks because I actually bought these earlier this year. And basically, you know, they might be 6 years old, but I've not seen genuine plume on a cigar that's been less than about 10 years old.
Yeah.
So
This is a beautiful stick, though. Not a lot of transition, but beautiful.
I think we've been talking, and it has transition, but it's very subtle. It's not really profound. It's subtle transitions. Citrus hasn't gone away, though. It's consistently there.
Yeah.
Stu is right. 100% right.
Yeah. Stu is always right.
Mm.
And I have a 100% miss rate on my ashtray tonight.
What's new?
My ashes dropped twice, and I didn't see it coming either time.
and you've got a massive ashtray there.
I have an enormous ashtray, but I don't have it like sitting. It's not like a puke bowl that I've just got like under myself when I'm, it's just off to the side.
That's the problem.
So I've got a little tiny little peak in the middle. So do you, Damo?
Yeah. I must admit that I am enjoying this a little bit quicker than I probably should be, but it's one of those cigars that you just enjoy.
Yeah,
I'm enjoying it.
Final third, it is.
I might be converting David from Padron to Perdomo.
Ooh, wow! You got to throw out all your ashtrays, your hoodies, all your merch, David, and just switch over.
Well, if I get a chance, depending on the how long I get caught up at Perdomo on the day that I'm visiting them, in the afternoon I'm going to go down to Florida, the little Cuba area of Florida, and I believe that Padron has their office and cigar lounge there as well.
Tony, I don't own any machetes. What I have are cigar cutters for the woody. Oh gosh, excuse me. It's a cigar cutter, not a machete. It's not a knife. It is a specialist tool for cutting the cap off the woody.
That's right.
It just happens to be about that long. That's high praise from David.
That's good.
That almond note is still there. It's gone from being a bitter almond to being a bit more pungent, more like an almond essence, like the almond essence that they use for making marzipan, but without the sweetness.
I'm finding that marmalade has really kicked back in, actually. So I'm getting pretty close to the business end, and that marmalade flavor has kicked in. Sounds like some street racing. Sorry, Omar, sounds like there's some street racing going on in your area.
Yeah, there is. Quite loud too.
That's his kids.
It's his cigar dealer coming in with a resupply so it doesn't run out tonight.
My cigar dealer is over there. I can't see it.
It's the courier.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, well, okay. So this is actually now, this is a full-on transition in this final third now.
Yeah.
So the citrus is kicked up. That the spearmint that I had a little bit of earlier has now become quite pronounced, tip of the tongue. Still the almond, still that little marzipan, still a little bit of sweetness, but dominated by that citrusy marmalade and the spearmint. Yeah, it's really fresh now.
You know what's really interesting? You know, we're talking about that bitterness, and then we're saying goes from the almond bitterness to that. To me, that bitterness is very citrusy peel bitterness. You know, when you sometimes have citrusy, and you know the white flavonoids on top of citrus that sometimes give you bitterness on a grapefruit. It's very similar to that at the minute. And I agree with Topher. It actually has gone up. The citrus part, it's gone up.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yes, sorry, Ethan. I'm in two places at once. The Oddcast is live streaming what we recorded. So I was down in Melbourne today. We recorded in studio and that went live at 7. And that'll still be going until 10. It was a 3-hour show. So, yes, I'm in two places at once right now on the internet.
That's good.
Your face is all over it.
I tell you what. Okay, so this is not a brag. This is going to sound like a brag. This is weird. Multiple mainstream media articles have quoted me recently. The Daily Mail in the UK did an entire article. Now, Daily Mail's a rag, like it's not serious news, but nevertheless, they did an entire article about one section of my interview with the Unemployables podcast, where I talked about the book, The Lucky Country, and talked about what it was actually about. They did an entire article just quoting me. Topher said this, then Topher said this, then Topher said this. That was the article. It's like, I'm sorry, like I know journalists are lazy, but how did you just turn, like they've got to file column inches, they've got to file a certain number of stories, and someone's just gone, oh, that's interesting. There you go. That's my story written for me. Unbelievable. And then with the tragedy of the shooting that happened in Victoria yesterday, Channel 7 reached out to me for comment. And I said no comment. But like all of a sudden, this has all started happening in the last sort of 2 weeks. I'm just suddenly getting written up and getting called and all of that. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
Was there a shooting yesterday in Victoria? I have no fucking
Yeah, really awful situation. I won't go into it here, but yeah, 2 police officers were shot dead by the 10 officers went in to serve a warrant on a property, and 2 of them got shot dead, and the guy is on the run. So yeah, awful situation. And yeah, the Channel 7 reached out to me and said, oh, do you want to make a comment on this? And I said, never met the guy, never heard of him. He's not a libertarian. No, I have nothing to say.
The guy was a known criminal or like a illegal guy, illegal immigrant or something.
So
don't worry, Omar, you're not under the spotlight.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. No, look, I'm not going to go into it here. It's not the place for it. But he was someone who was not known to be violent, and many would argue the level of police, the weight with which the police went in was probably unnecessary, and many would argue that probably caused the escalation. But then again, he did escalate to that level, so maybe the police were right. That's going to get argued a lot over coming weeks and months and probably years.
So he shot him or something.
He shot the cops. Yeah, he killed 2 cops and wounded a 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no No history of any serious violence. Before that, he'd been in and out of court trying to sue the police, trying to sue the government. He tried to sue Daniel Andrews over all the lockdowns and everything. So he was active in that sense. But yeah, to my knowledge, had no, and as far as I'm reading in all the reports, had no history of anything serious like this.
Yeah.
But they went in pretty heavy, and the exact circumstances are unknown. But yeah, he ended up shooting. Maybe shooting back, although there's no concrete evidence that he was shooting back. Yeah, so we'll let the facts come out in coming days and weeks. But yeah, awful situation.
Mm. Very awful. It's bad.
That marmalade note's just picked up for me, but I'm down a lot.
Yeah,
further.
you're right down the business end. Yeah.
It's actually quite a mellow and smooth smoke as well.
It's been very friendly all the way through.
A very approachable cigar. Definitely one that you'd go back again to.
You'd take it out on a second date for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe not the same one. You'd get a different one, but yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of clove coming in. Maybe some fennel.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a bit of fennel, bit of vegetative.
Yeah.
You know what? I reckon this would also be a good cigar that would age well.
Yeah.
Actually, I had. Was it yesterday? It was yesterday, wasn't it, Omar? I came past your shop.
Yeah. Connecticut.
I had a nub Connecticut that I had purchased back in 2016.
Wow.
Now, people say that you can't age Connecticut's, and look, in one respect, it did lose a lot of its bolder flavors. It definitely had muted down a fair bit.
Yeah.
But it was so smooth, so mellow, and had a beautiful sweetness to it. Burnt perfectly. The smoke production was incredible. There's definitely something said for sitting on sticks for many years before you smoke them.
Yeah.
But this might be an important detail. Did you have that mixed in with other non-Connecticut cigars over those years?
Always.
Yeah. And I reckon that's an important detail for aging Connecticut's.
So I had in my humidor, the compartments in it, there was 3 of those on the very bottom, and then sitting on top of that was some Maduros.
Yeah. Yeah. Good way to do it.
Gee, Dan must be smoking like lightning speed tonight.
I thought the same thing because, Dan, normally you'd be smoking a cigar like this at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. You'd still be going.
You finished, Omar?
Nah, just almost like you.
Yeah. We're all pretty similar.
Yeah.
Definitely don't take the easy draw on the flight with me either.
Yeah, no. That goes in your checked luggage. The TSA would probably try and use it on you.
Yeah.
Mind you, I've only had 2 ash drops on my cigar, so that's also pretty good as well.
Yeah, it's good construction, great construction. A little bit of veining down towards the business end here. I'm not feeling any nicotine though.
Well, David Leinhelm would be our most qualified person to make that comment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Omar being our least.
Omar could smoke liquid nicotine and still not feel it.
See, that's why I want to get him a woody.
Mm.
Because if it's 21 by 100, I reckon that's got to be the equivalent. Well, Churchill's 7 inches, right? So that's 3 Churchills long. 100 ring gauge, that's got to be at least 3. Possibly 4, but definitely 3.
Yeah.
Churchill's
so it's probably
around
12 times a Churchill. It's 12 times a Churchill or more.
Yep. So
that'd be a good cigar to smoke.
I am seriously considering getting one just to bring back to make Omar smoke it on the show. Omar will have to have his own dedicated show for that one because apparently it's an 8-hour smoke.
Oh gosh. That's like light it up after lunch and finish it before you go to bed.
Pretty much.
Gosh.
That'd be good.
Imagine Daniel with that one. My goodness. He'd get a week out of it.
No nicotine is the report from David. And Dan's saying you're still thinking of when I just started out. These days, I'm usually roughly at the same point as you guys or just a smidgen behind. So we might have to get you a woody and get you to hark back to the olden days, Dan, and see how long you can go for.
That vegetative note just suddenly dropped off on me.
Still there for me.
Yeah, it was just that puff was just a sudden change all of a sudden for me.
Yeah, all right. No mention of any burn issues for anyone. No construction issues. Ash held on nicely. It's only dropped twice for a decent sized cigar. Just this is what a cigar ought to be.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's a good
100%.
size too. Like Perdomo do quite a lot of size sticks in all their ranges.
Yeah.
But they really nail it on the epicure size, which is effectively a Toro.
Mm.
Yeah.
It just seems to be their sweet spot for all of their blends that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have we ever had a Perdomo Lancero or Lonsdale? Do they even make any?
I don't believe they do. But
yeah, just
the Uncle Nick, I could say to him, have you considered making Lancero in any of your range?
Yeah. That'd be a great question for the interview.
There we go. Actually, there's an interesting thing. If any of our viewers have got questions that they would like me to ask Nick Perdomo about their cigars,
great idea.
Send them through to me, and I'll include them in the time that I'm with him.
Yeah,
see if I can get some answers for you guys. What I would really like to do is what I'm planning on is, I find cigars a very memorable personal thing. So I do want to ask Nick about, does he remember his first cigar that he ever had?
Yeah.
And is there, you know, one memory of a cigar that stands out amongst the rest for him? And you know, he's obviously got a lot of cigars that he's working on, and you're always trying to come up with new blends and new new cigars. And I do want to know what he sees as the holy grail of cigars for him personally, because for everyone it's something different.
Yeah.
Sure.
It comes down to personal taste. So, you know, I do want to sort of get some of those personal things out of Nick to sort of find a bit behind who he is and what drives him.
Nice.
That would actually, you know, show, because I mean he is the brand really.
Sure.
And so that give a bit more insight into, you know, what he's trying to achieve with the brand and the vision and the direction that he's got that brand going in.
Yeah, nice. Sounds good. I look forward to seeing the interview. You can't record it on your phone. You need to bring something better.
Actually, funnily enough, I've been looking into it, and I'm actually, for the budget that I've got, I'm actually seriously looking at doing it on my phone, because I can do it in 4K cinematographic mode on my phone, which to get a camera to do the equivalent, I'm looking at spending at least $1,000 to buy another camera to do it, because the camera that I'm using for this show, it only does 1080.
Yeah.
And my digital SLR is big and heavy, and it only does 1080 as well.
Yeah. Okay.
But what I've done is I've actually bought a couple of little tiny button lapel Bluetooth microphones that hang on with them, and they look like a button. Literally, just these tiny little round things, and they last for 8 hours on a charge.
Yeah. Wow.
And you can have two of them paired to your phone. So basically, I can set the phone up and clip one onto me, one onto Nick, and we'll have good sound.
Nice. Excellent. Well, then in that case, just make sure that you've got, like, you can't be holding the phone. It's got to be mounted on something.
Actually I've done my research, and I've actually found this aircraft aluminium tripod that is small enough to basically be table mounted, but can extend tall enough to be floor standing if need be.
Wow. Yeah, wow. Okay.
And it's super lightweight, so that I can put in my luggage and it's not going to take up much weight. And it's not one of these little crappy spring clips that hold onto the phone. It's actually a screw clamp, so that you actually screw it down and it really bites into the phone to hold it rigid.
Nice. Yeah, good. All right. Well, sounds like you thought it through.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, your demo, you always do. So that's, fair enough.
Toph, what cameras are you using?
I've got a Sony A7C. That's the camera you're looking at right now, which is basically, so the Sony A7S is the beginning of their serious full frame, full size sensor, interchangeable lens range. So a lot of wedding photographers will use an A7S. The A7C, the C stands for compact. So it's the same sensor, all the same technology, but they put it into a smaller chassis, a smaller frame. And I picked it because it actually looks like an old school photographic camera. You know, old school cameras, they had a certain shape to them, and the body would be like that textured sort of rubberized material. And then there was always that aluminium kind of cap across the top with the knobs and dials and things in the top. It looks exactly like that. And so I can have this with me in places where, you know, they're a bit more sensitive about videoing being done and that sort of stuff. And I just look like I'm holding a photography camera. Whereas if I showed up with a full-sized A7S, it looks like a more serious piece of kit. I adore this camera. It's absolutely fantastic. And I'm just running, I've got just it's a 50 millimeter prime lens on it. So it's not a variable zoom lens. It goes down to f1.8, but I've got it on I've got it on f2.4 or something like that. And it's a good lens. It's, you know,
cool. Very good.
You know, it defocuses nicely. It's a good setup. And I went with the Sony specifically because their autofocus is markedly better than anybody else's, or at least it was sort of 4 years ago when I bought this. They were the king of the autofocus. And because I want to be able to just have the camera and not have to worry and not have to think about the camera, and I don't want to have it just focused in one spot and I have to sit still and I can't lean forward and I can't move back. I just want it to follow me. And the Sony does that better than anyone else.
Yeah.
I was actually looking, is it the A6, the previous generation? The Sony?
I actually don't know. Yeah, I couldn't tell
I
you.
was looking at a secondhand one for this trip, but by the time I got it and got a lens for it, it was going to cost me about $1,200 secondhand.
Yeah.
Between 1,000 and 1,200, and I just couldn't justify dropping that sort of cash just for two 20-minute interviews.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I mean, this camera body cost me $2,500 just for the body.
Yeah.
And it's a good piece of kit. And for me, it was an investment. I knew I was going to use it for years and years. It's 4K. It's a great sensor. I could still be using this camera in 5, 6, 7 years time, and no one's going to be looking at it going, "Oh, that's what he's using old gear." So I just decided to drop the money. But this is how I make my living. So it's a different equation to what you're talking about, Damo.
Yeah, one of the other things that did put me off it a little bit was the A6, the previous generation. You had to flash the firmware on the camera to be able to do a live stream with it.
Right, yeah.
It supported HDMI out, but I'd have to get a capture box and
a
few other bits and pieces. But if you flashed it and put some aftermarket enthusiasts firmware on it, you could actually then set it up as a web camera, and it was just getting all too difficult. Because if I bought something, I want to use it as a web camera for this show, and I just couldn't stretch myself to go into the A7 where I didn't have to do any of that stuff.
Yeah. So this, well, you still do actually. I mean, maybe not with the current ones, but with this one, if I come out into a computer, there's lag. There's about a 1 second lag, which for live streaming is useless. So the only way I'm able to use this is because I've got a thing called a Rodecaster, which is basically a vision switching desk, and this thing's brilliant. It's $1,600, so it's not a cheap thing. But again, this is my living. So it's just an investment. That is the most brilliant piece of gear that I've ever come across. So when I do my podcast with Carly, we bought two, one for my studio and one for hers, and it actually does all of the editing based on the audio. So it does automatic switching between the 3 different cameras based on whose microphone whose microphone's being used. And it's a brilliant piece of kit. So by spending $1,600 on that, we removed all the editing. It used to be when we started, we had 3 cameras recording, and I had to take all the data, stick it into my laptop, sit there and manually switch between the cameras. And now we just sit, we turn it onto auto mode, we just sit and talk to each other, and then the file that we get at the end that's it. That's the finished podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, it works well. But that's what allows me to run the HDMI out from the camera, and then I run the output from the desk into the computer, and it all works like what you're seeing here.
Yep.
But at that point, that's a $5,000 setup by the time you bought the lens as well. Like that's not an enthusiast grade setup.
Have you got the Rodecaster video, or they're just a Pro?
No, the video. The video, yeah. You can run it with a Rode. If you want the manual audio controls, you can daisy chain a Rodecaster into it to have all the manual audio control. This will allow you to control all the audio, but it's within menus. You got to kind of click a button, go into a menu, adjust the audio there, come back out of the menu, that sort of stuff. It's a bit more clunky. It is really focused on a setup like mine, where you set it all up in the first place and then you don't touch it.
Yeah, I've used it for 2 weeks now. It's pretty good.
Yeah. They're good. They're good bits of kit, and they're an Australian company as well.
Yeah. They're on the. Yeah, Rodecaster. I mean, Rode is just local to Silverwater.
Yeah. We've got 2 really great tech companies in that space. We've got Rode, and we've also got Blackmagic. 2 amazing Australian companies doing really good stuff.
Yeah, I've used the Blackmagic video camera. It's very expensive.
Oh yeah, but they're good. They're good.
They're very, very good. They're very good.
Yeah. No, I like them. The reason I didn't go with the Blackmagic setup, and I went the way I did with the Sony and the Rodecaster, was because of the autofocus. Blackmagic don't do autofocus. They've invested their money into other areas, and they just assume that you're going to have a camera operator who's going to manually do focus. Which obviously, if you've got a camera operator, that's how you want to do it. But I don't have the budget for that, so
yeah.
Well, I've taken Dan's suggestion.
Yeah,
I've spiked mine.
I'm not going to spike mine. I'm going to put it down, but this has been gorgeous. This has been such a lovely cigar.
Excellent cigar. What a way to finish the pack.
Oh, I tell you what. It settled down again. I went through a phase where it really got very, not spicy, but it had a lot of that spearmint and that sort of citrus marmalade coming through really strong. And then it settled again in that last couple of puffs before I put it down.
Yeah. I just put it down. It's been a great cigar.
Yeah. And a solid hour and a half plus.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah, no, beautiful stick.
Oh, Stu missed out on what I said, did he?
Yeah, well, you must have. He was here, though. He was commenting throughout.
All right, Stu, next pack. We have the Warped Grand Reserva. We have the Hammer and Sickle, Hermitage No. 1, St. Petersburg in a box press Churchill. And it's a big Churchill. It's actually, if put it next to the Robusto, you can see the thickness is actually bigger. So it's quite a chunky Churchill, because Churchills are not usually quite as thick as this. Yeah. And then we've also got the Davidoff Winston Churchill in the late hour in a what they call a petite pantella, which is better known to us as a Purito size, a 4x38. So that's what our next pack is going to be. I'll be sending the invoices out probably next week for that.
Yeah. Amazing. Amazing. All right. Well, gentlemen, thank you. Damo, thank you especially. You've curated another wonderful pack. And I know we tease you about your love for Perdomo cigars, and every time you want to do a Perdomo pack, we're like, oh yeah, another one of those. But honestly, they are fabulous, and you've done us all proud once again. So thank you for all of your work. And Omar, thanks for showing up, I guess.
Still has a perfect record.
Still has a perfect record. We got to like kneecap him or something. What was that? What was that? The ice skater who had her opponent kneecapped so she couldn't compete. What was that? That was. I'm showing my age now. No, I'm getting blank looks. No one remembers. All right, fine. Well, on that happy note, we'll wind up the show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Send us messages through the Facebook page if you'd like to order anything or find out about the packs or anything like that. And we will see you next month.